And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Oh, yes, I am back. Yes, from Ireland. I actually made it home after my man, Josh Thompson, had to do the podcast on his own. I was proud of you, brother. You stood up. You took the shots. You went after it. You didn't say a damn thing that was worth anything, but it was awesome. I loved it.
No, I just had to ramble on and fill time. That's what I had to do.
That's it, baby.
Just talk, just blow nonsense out my ass. I do that on a regular basis, so I'm pretty good with that. I'm surprised that they let you back into the country.
Dude, I didn't think they were going to. I thought it was almost like human trafficking. Yeah. I was going to get buried somewhere in Ireland, which is where my people are from, but it's okay because it's not all my people. But I love Ireland, but staying in the airport I was there the first day, 14 hours. That's bullshit. It's just bullshit. Oh, it's delayed until now. Oh, now it's delayed until now. Oh, now it's delayed until now. Oh, now it's delayed until tomorrow.
Oh, jeez. That's brutal, man. I've been in those situations, but not for 14 hours. It's been delayed for say 3 to 4 hours, and all of a sudden it's canceled. You're like, fuck. But man, I'd have been so pissed. 14 hours. Tell us the story about how you waited in the wrong line for about 3 hours.
What? I didn't wait in the wrong line. What are you talking about?
Miss McCarthy said that you were stuck trying to change your flight, waiting in line in the wrong line for 3 hours.
Oh no, that was after. That was I was trying to at least get my tickets or my seats confirmed for the next day.
Yeah.
Right. So that for the first thing, if you'd bought anything that was part of duty free, you had to wait and they were going to take it from you. So you had to leave it at the airport. Well, I just happened to buy a couple of bottles of Crested from Jameson, which I love. Mm-hmm. And so because I could go through customs in Ireland, I didn't have to worry about the whole security thing. So it was like, all right, I'll do it. So I do it and then I get stuck. So then I have to wait for that line. So then I wait in that line. They take my booze and then I go to the next one, which this is the best too. Look, you try to go on one airline to get a little bit of status, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll get you in the easier line and all that stuff, right? So I go down there. There's only like 12 people down there by the time I get down there. And I asked the lady, I said, excuse me, are we supposed to wait in that line to talk to the thing? Or do we go to the priority line if you're executive platinum or anything like that? And she goes, no, go to that line with all the people. I said, okay. Right. So I go to that line, standing there waiting. You know, they have nobody working on anybody at this time. The airport is basically shutting down in these areas. And so I'm just, waiting. And then that lady comes up, right? And she says, oh, sir, you're executive platinum? I said, yeah. And she says, oh, come over into this line. And she comes over, puts me in, and she says, just wait right here. And then they bring all these wheelchair people in front of me. And so the line that I was in, the 12 people were long gone. By the time I got through there, it was like, well, I got screwed on that, but all right. So I get up to the front and it has nothing to do with getting your ticket. It's all about getting your free hotel room, which I had already bought a hotel room. I knew where I was going. I was like, I'm out of here. So then I ask a person, hey, where is the Radisson Dublin Airport? He goes, oh, it's right behind that building right there. Wrong direction. I was just walking around. I had to walk a full circle around that sumbitch. That's good for exercise. But in the end, it was a long day. Long day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to Big John, that means that you should never fly American Airlines because that's what you fly, right?
Now you're sounding like
airline. You sound. You like to give me a hard time because I'm a Delta guy.
Okay, here and check this one out, right? Coming home, I switch and I go to Delta.
Smart.
Right? I go to Delta. So now I have to go and pick up my booze at the duty-free place, right? To give them my little ticket, they're going to give me the booze, right? So the guy says, I have this ticket thing. He says, you were on the flight yesterday? I said, yes, sir. Right? And he says, hey, what did you have? I said, it was 2 bottles of Crescent. I give him the thing. He says, let me go get it for you. Boom. He comes out with it. He goes, you're same flight going to Charlotte? I go, no. I'm on Delta now, going to Atlanta. He goes, oh, I got to change this ticket all up then. Right. And I have an American Airlines pilot standing right there. right there because he's getting a bottle of booze, right? Mm-hmm. And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, see there? You should have flown American." I said, yeah. I said, that way you motherfuckers could leave me stranded again for today. Right? And he looks at me. I go, "You stranded me yesterday. That's why I'm on Delta now." And he goes,
man.
"Oh, sorry."
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's like,
it's fucking talking shit. Look
dude, it was like, "Oh, you should have flown American."
Jeez.
Well, I tried. Yeah, that didn't work.
No, you can't fly
American,
man.
That's all right. I'm home for a good 24 hours.
Yeah, who booked this flight too? Like leaving again tomorrow morning early, right? 4 a.m.
I know, it sucks.
I'm surprised that President Joe Biden hasn't kept you on the no-fly list. I mean, it's great. It's great. Then the Irish people wanted to keep you because they love you so much.
I can understand Biden trying to keep me off the flights and stuff. He saw the shirt I was wearing yesterday flying.
Oh, jeez. Lion's not sheep kind of shirt.
Boom.
All right. Well, hey, let's jump into some fight stuff. Let's go ahead and talk. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk UFC, Bellator? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, let's talk the UFC. We got Mackenzie Dern and Yan going at it. Mm-hmm. What do you think of this one? Main event.
This show is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag brings you some of the best gambling odds, online gambling odds that you can possibly find. And Big John and I always try to give you guys our best opinion on the fights and potentially will make you some money. At MyBookie.ag, use our promo code weighing in. There's a little QR code right there as well. The podcast Dave is going to put up there. You click that, takes you to MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code weighing in. Hopefully you make some money. I think Mackenzie Dern is a star in the making, still relatively young, just nasty good on the ground. She's really evolved her stand-up, but still has a long ways to go with it. I will say that there was a couple, I'm going to kind of compare her, not anywhere near the same talent in terms of on the ground and the grappling and everything else, is with Leah McCourt. Leah McCourt looked, last weekend, she looked really good on the feet. Mackenzie Dern is starting to turn that corner. I feel like that relaxation on the feet is looking how Leah McCourt needed to look and how she looked this time from the first time, the first couple of times I saw her stand up and fight. Mackenzie Dern, speed, the ability, she throws that overhand right a lot. She needs to start relaxing a little bit more on the feet, not trying to overpower people. But she's a dog. You can tell she's a fighter. She's somebody that loves to fight. She's someone that just loves the competition, and she just pushes and grinds. But she's got to make sure that she finds ways to fight a little smarter, press into the fence, not put so much pressure on herself to get the takedowns, to let the stand-up open itself up to get the takedowns easier. Do you understand what I'm saying, John?
I totally understand what you're saying.
You follow me, buddy? Because I know
I do, Bubba.
Long flights, little cobwebs, a little bit in the head. I know. I get it. I understand.
No, those are the cobwebs. They're in the head, but they're not from the flight.
Yeah, they've always been there. They've always been there. They've kind of started to spread now into the beard.
Oh yeah,
the white there, buddy. It's what I'm thinking is with Mackenzie Dern and with a lot of young fighters is they put so much pressure on themselves to get the takedown that they start to slow down a little bit as the fight goes on, or it becomes so predictable and the fighter, all they have to do is just stuff the takedown, circle back off. And then it becomes frustrating. Then they use more energy. Then they get more tired. Then they start telegraphing their shots more. It's like a snowball effect that kind of ruins the ability for them to get the fight to the ground because they put so much effort into trying to get it there. They just got to be a little bit more relaxed on the feet. And I think if she does that, if she just lets the combinations fly and then get the takedowns off the combinations. If she doesn't get it, work her way back up to the body lock, into the punches, make space, knees, elbows, then go back into the takedown. That constant combination of mixing it up from the feet to the ground will make it a lot easier for her to get these fights to the ground. And she can, obviously, we know she's the best probably in the game right now on the ground.
Oh, on the ground, there's nobody that's better.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a couple that are close. But nobody's better.
Yeah, she's
and
really...
you take a look, and what you're saying is exactly right. She has to be that person that when she gets into that clinch position, drives it to the cage, and is working in that position and realizes, I don't have the ability right at this moment to actually take her down. I'm going to work really hard. It's okay to break it off, but when you break off from that clinch, be sending a message to your opponent by landing a clean elbow, by landing the knee strike, by doing something that makes them realize I'm willing to disengage from the clinch position. That is not something I'm afraid of. And every time I get in the clinch, you're going to have to worry about being hit by something if I am going to disengage. And that's going to open up the ability for you to get the takedown, because there's times when you can use the cage to act like you're going to disengage, bounce your opponent off of it, and it'll make the takedowns come a whole lot easier also. So I agree with you totally, but she's very young in her career. You know, you take a look at how many fights she's had, 14 total. I mean, it's really, the UFC has used her a lot and given her a lot of fights, and she's gotten a lot of experience there, but she's still young as far as the time that she's put into MMA, and she's only getting better. So I look at this, I think this is a very good fight for her. On the feet, I think it's close to even. I think she's a little bit behind Yan, but she's moved way up in her stand-up ability. So I think it's close. It's not like, you know, oh my God, it's Marina Rodriguez against Mackenzie, where Marina's the definite better striker. You're looking at someone who is more technically, you know, clean and length is on her side and everything. I think with Yan, I think this is one where I'll give the nod maybe to Yan, but not by much. And so this is a great fight for Mackenzie Dern, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think with Yan, she just can't afford. She can't afford to keep taking steps backwards. She can't let Mackenzie Dern push her around in the cage. She's got to stand her ground in the center, stuff the takedowns in the middle, try to keep her back off the fence, let the hands combinations go. If she allows Mackenzie Dern to push her around, it could be a long night for her. Not even so much that she's going to get, I don't think she's going to get outstruck, but it's just going to make it easier for Mackenzie Dern to do whatever she wants to do. And that's going to make it harder for her to get off first. She's going to have to make sure that she stands right in the middle of the cage and makes Mackenzie Dern come to her. And if she starts touching Mackenzie will start to respect her. But if she lets her get pushed around, she's going to end up being the nail all night.
You know, one thing, it seems a lot of the ladies that are coming from China, the one thing there's only one, and that being Weili Zhang, who, when the fight hits the ground, she has a lot of physical attributes and a lot of strength that even if she makes the mistake on the ground, she can tend to get herself out of those positions or even reverse the position and stay on the top position. It has good ground and pound and those things. Everyone else, their stand-up really clean. Ground game's coming. You know, Jan's ground game is coming, but it's nowhere near good enough to stay with Mackenzie if it does hit the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Absolutely. Mackenzie Dern's so just heads above everybody else, heads and shoulders above everyone else that's in that division. Not just that division, but pretty much in the sport. You know, if you were to match her up, I think with some of these, even some of the higher weight class females, once the fight hits the ground, she's going to be tapping them pretty easily.
Well, she had the one fight. I can't remember the girl's name. I'll screw it up. But if we look at her record, Dave, pull up Mackenzie's record, because I know she fought her. Jandiroba. Verna Jandiroba. That's someone that can be on the ground with Mackenzie Dern. Yeah, she's outstanding on the ground.
Yep.
You know, and that went to a decision based upon it. But you know, there are not many. You know, and Miranda Marcos, who Mackenzie had the fight with, she's good on the ground. She's a good wrestler. You know, and very tough and Mackenzie did some work on the ground with her that was just unbelievably impressive as far as how she's just for that weight class. Just about everyone, she's way above them.
Interesting. All right, who else is on this card? This show is brought to you by Z-Biotics. John, I got to be honest, man. Nowadays, when I go out drinking, and you know I like to drink, but
oh yes, you do.
I don't bounce back like I used to anymore. I mean, obviously,
that's because you're old. You just had a birthday.
I'm not that old. But yesterday I went out drinking, but first, I took my Z-Biotics. I got to be honest, man, it makes me feel better the next day. It helps a lot with that feeling of feeling like crap the next day. I don't feel like crap the next day. And I'm going to be honest, because I love being able to go out with my friends and get after it at the bar but I don't want to have to feel that way the next day.
That's why you drink a Z-Biotics before you start drinking alcohol, because it is a pre-alcohol probiotic, Josh. That means that this is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. This was done by PhD scientists who a lot smarter than us.
Yes.
They did something to tackle what is something that we all know, the rough mornings after a good night of drinking. So here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into a toxic byproduct. And that's all in your gut, and it's nasty and stuff because it's like almost like a poison to you. But this byproduct is not dehydration. It is this product that builds up in your gut that is to blame for that nasty next day feeling that we all have. So Z-Biotics produces an enzyme that breaks down all of that nasty stuff in your gut. So when you take Z-Biotics before you drink and then are smart, and after you drink, you give a little hydration, a little H2O is good, and then you go to sleep, Z-Biotics is going to make you feel much better the next day.
Yeah, the first time I tried Z-Biotics, I tried it about 3 weeks back. I got to be honest, I felt so good the next day after I drank it. I drank the bottle the day before, right before I started drinking, and the feeling the next day, I felt a lot better. So if you guys want to give Z-Biotics a try, go to zbiotics.com/weighing-in to get 50% off your first order when you use the weighing-in code. Okay, hear that again, zbiotics.com/weighing-in to get 50% off your first order when you use the weighing-in code.
Trust me, you're going to like it. Randy Brown against the man that will never get old,
Jeez.
Francisco Trinaldo. I love the guy.
He looks like he's about 90,
but he doesn't.
but
He's right. He's close to my age as far as looks. I think someone wrote some bad stuff on his birth certificate. But dude, hey man, he continues to fight. He's still got speed in his hands. There's just certain guys that it doesn't matter how old they are. They tend to, be able to hang and still have speed. We saw it with Yoel Romero. Take a look at that guy. I mean, he's amazing when you look at him and stuff. And I love when people say, oh, he's on steroids now. You could take a look at that dude from when he was in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And you take a look at him now. His body hasn't changed. It's probably a little bit slimmer than his Olympic, photo when you look. But all through his fighting career, he looks the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. 185, 205, doesn't matter. He looks the same. And so there's just certain people, they still have speed. They still have explosiveness. And Trinaldo's one of those guys, man. He is explosive and he's tough and he'll take shots. And so Randy Brown has a lot of length, man, and he's good. I really like watching Randy Brown. The man from Jamaica is athletic. He's, like I said, long, and he needs to use that length, in my opinion, against Trinaldo. Keep him on the outside. He's got that beautiful front kick up the middle that he can definitely use to set the range and make it to where Trinaldo realizes, ooh, I can be hit from actually a long distance by this guy, and I've got to be very careful. So, but I look and I think Randy Brown is a fighter that is still on the rise, and this should be his fight. He should get the win, but we've seen it from Trinaldo too many times. Fights that you look and you go, he might not get the win here. He gets the win. So don't ever count him out.
This is like a changing of the guard. I think the UFC is trying to do. Like Trinaldo's never been a number one contender or anything like that, but he's always had some great fights. Yep. He's a guy that he will make it an action-packed fight. He will walk forward. He'll, like you said, he'll take big shots. He'll make it a scrap. He's good all the way around. He possesses power in his hands. He'll make Randy Brown fight. Now, if Randy doesn't fight a smart fight, it can end up being a long night for him, or it could be a short night for him getting knocked out. You never know. But I think all these things favor Randy Brown. He's just got to stick and move. Don't allow himself, like I said with Mackenzie Dern, to get pushed around. And he can't afford to be on his back foot. He's got to be sticking and moving, staying on the outside, using his lateral movement, keeping his back off the fence, not allowing himself to be the nail. And pushing Trinaldo around would be the better idea, or taking that center of the cage. So I would have to agree with you that Trinaldo is one of those guys that will make it a dog fight. And that's pretty much the only way he can get this win, I think.
Yeah. He's got to make it a dogfight. The length and just the skill set that Randy Brown possesses is going to be a difficult fight for Trinaldo. But I've seen him do it to guys that I thought had those same attributes before. So, You know, he's the brawler, and he again, he'll take those shots. And so when a guy will take shots to give shots, always dangerous. All right. Ronnie Barcelos against Trevin Jones. I love Barcelos. Barcelos is good. Dude, his wrestling is fantastic. His jiu-jitsu is great. His stand-up is clean. This guy has got it all. Trevin Jones has got a long night ahead of him, in my opinion, against Barcelos.
I mean, Trevin Jones he's athletic. He's got speed.
Yes.
All the things that you need to just stick and move. Look, it only takes. That's why we fight this fight, John.
No, that's exactly true.
Is because the speed can be the nullifier. It can be the thing
difference
that really,
maker.
The difference maker in this.
The equalizer.
Yeah, and when you have somebody that has that type of speed, you have someone that has the ability to stick and move. You have the ability to press to the fence and do all those things to control the tempo of the fight. It's up to him whether he decides to fight smart or not and make this not a dog fight. Don't get in there and make it a dog fight. Get in there and slow Barcelos down. If he can do that, then I think he'll have a chance. But if he goes out there expecting just to wail at it, he can end up in a lot of trouble. He doesn't want to end up on his back. There's a lot of these things where he needs to make sure that every second he's using fighter IQ. Because if he's not, like you said, he'll end up having a very long night. It'll be a horrible night for him. He's just got to be smart about it.
You know, but you look at it, Trevin has decent wrestling. He doesn't have wrestling that's going to take Barcelos down. And so then you look at, if it hits the ground, he better be in the top position. And he's got to be careful there, because if he's on the bottom position, he's going to have a hard time getting up from that position with Barcelos. So like you're saying, movement, stick and move, create situations where you're frustrating him in the stand up, peppering him, use the jab, a lot of foot movement, a lot of lateral movement. That's what I would suggest, but that's a tough fight. And I just think that, Barcelos, I'm very impressed with his skill set. Yeah, I think he lost his last fight, but
Barcelos, who did he lose to his last fight?
I'm trying to freaking remember. I don't.
Victor Henry.
Victor Henry.
Last
That's
two.
it. Yeah, it was
Lost
decision.
his last two.
Oh no, I was thinking of Timur Valiev. Yeah, because 2 losses in a row. He's only got 3 losses total. So
Interesting.
that kind of sets you back, though. I didn't know. I wasn't even thinking it was 2. I was thinking it was 1, and I was thinking of the Valiev one.
Yeah, John, I'm having a hard time keeping up with all these young guys that are coming in now.
It's tough.
So frustrating to me. It's so frustrating. I'm like, man, where did all these kids come from? You know, I'm getting older. Jeez, it's like, man, you guys? There's so many of them now. But one of the ones that I really like is Yusuf. Sodiq Yusuf. Yeah. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's learned. He's evolving as a fighter. He's getting better on the takedowns. Getting better on the feet. He's becoming a more comfortable fighter everywhere. He hasn't
talk
had
about
that
fast.
Yeah, but he hasn't had that breakout fight yet. So he needs to have one of those breakout fights. Now, I don't know, because he has all the attributes. The UFC is they're a promotion that could build him up to being something, but he's been around for a while, and like I said, he hasn't had the breakout fight. So he needs to start. When you've been around this long, you need to have one of those fights that really says, okay, I'm ready to start putting some money behind you. I'm ready to start
gone to the next level.
To the next level. Who can we give you this now? We're not just trying to build you anymore. We're trying to put you into that top upper echelon of fighters that really can make you some money. I haven't seen it yet from him, even though he's talented, good all the way around. We're going to see if we can have a breakout fight for him this weekend.
What about Krzysztof Joko against Brendan Allen, though? To me, that's a great fight. Joko's a solid fighter, solid everywhere, just tough, hangs in there, wears his opponents down. Brendan Allen, we've seen him have great moments. We've seen him have moments where guys have gotten him and hurt him. Mm-hmm. But I think Brendan Allen is still on the rise. I think Krzysztof Joko is still on the rise. So this is, to me, a very interesting matchup in the middleweight division. This is going to definitely send one person towards that next level. Mm-hmm. They're going to enter that next level, and one person is going to definitely drop off from being that kind of guy. So I look at that. That's a big fight for both of them. They both need that win.
Is Joko the one that looks like the guy from the cover of Mad Magazine?
Yes,
with the big
ears,
his
ears stick
face.
way out.
Yeah, can you click on his? Let's see. Can
Good
you click
guy.
on his face? Joko down there on the bottom left, number 6.
Joko, not Trevin Jones.
Jeez, good to know that podcast Dave is following along.
Listening.
Yes. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, he
Him
looks
and
like
big
a
ass ears.
69 Volkswagen with the doors open from the rear.
Oh man, look at Brendan Allen, man. He's a good fighter. He's a good
He is a
fighter.
good fighter. He's
You
a damn good
know,
fighter.
click on him as well. Who did he fight last? Because he had a loss like what, 2 fights ago? Yeah, 2
Yeah,
fights
he lost
ago.
to Chris
Yeah,
Curtis.
Chris Curtis, that's right. Yep. And then he beat Sam Alvey, and then he beat Jacob Malkoon. Okay. I mean, look, Brendan Allen's good on the feet, sticking moves to pressure against the fence, knees, elbows. He's a good stand-up fighter, John. But
Yeah.
where I notice is that he lacks in the defense when he throws. And that was a big reason. That's a big reason why he got caught by Chris Curtis. Is that in those exchanges, he was allowing himself to leave himself open after he throws. You have to throw, bring your hands back defensively. You got to make sure your guard stays up. He is someone that he throws overwhelmingly too much and then ends up getting caught. And so I think he's got to make sure he fights a smart fight. And I think all these fighters, and I continue to go back to this, is the fight IQ. Sometimes they try too hard to be a showman and focus less on being on getting that win. And so I want fighters to fight aggressively. You know what I mean? Like I want them to fight aggressively. I want them to get the win and be entertaining. It's a fine line, John. You know the deal. It's a fine line. But
It's funny. It's funny that you bring that up because I had a long talk with a man called Johnny Walker in Ireland, and told him, "Hey, I know they're wanting you to be exciting like you were in the beginning. I know you're hearing that, Johnny. It's about getting wins and not being damaged. Your last fight was beautiful, beautiful job, right?" I said, "That's what works for you. Don't worry about works for them. Keep winning. You're going to get the fights." I said, "Don't get damaged. It's going to be a lot easier on your body. Don't listen to people that say, oh, you have to be crazy and exciting and do the flying knees and things like that. If it's there, go ahead, but don't force anything." So we had a long talk, and it's true. You open yourself up. Yeah, you can be exciting, and yeah, you can get caught with it. So you got to be careful. Good fight IQ on when to use those type of techniques. That's a big difference maker.
Well, I've seen fighters try so hard to make the regime happy, when they try to make the regime happy, it
Things go bad,
And I have this quote, and just winning solves everything, and that quote is because it's true. People will forget about all your past. What discretions, I think, is what is your past. They'll forget about all that stuff, and just indiscretion, and just focus on your winning. If you start doing that, look at guys, and I always use Tiger Woods. Cheated on his wife, car accidents, all these things. We won one Masters or whatever it was, and all of a sudden, no one gave a shit about what happened. Kobe Bryant, same shit. Cheated on his wife. Don't give a shit. Won some championships. Don't give a shit. It happens. Kevin Hart, same thing. Cheated on his wife. I think while she was pregnant. Put out some great sitcoms or some great specials. No one gave a shit. It's like it just if you continue to be successful, people will forget about that shit. So when you're talking about your fighting game, just go out there, get the job done. You can't be denied forever. I know John Fitch was not the most exciting fighter to watch, but he just wouldn't be denied in getting that title shot. Now, that title shot didn't work out for him, against George St. Pierre, but, I think he won 10 or 11 in a row before he got a title shot. And they just couldn't deny him anymore. He had some good wins. He had some shitty wins, but he still got some wins. And that winning will help push you to the title. Don't worry about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take a look.
Guy, man. He got fucked for a while.
Just
got to keep fighting the way you got to fight.
Kept fighting, kept winning.
Yeah.
There was a couple of, time spaces in there that were a little too long, but that shit happens. When he got the chance, made it happen.
Well, he had a bunch of oh shit moments in some fights where Yeah,
he had a Nate Diaz shit moment.
Yeah, almost cost him.
Fifth round, man.
Fuck.
Whew.
All right, is there any other fights on this card you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to Bellator this weekend. It's on Saturday. Where's this at? Is this during the day?
Yeah, that's it from the Apex, I believe.
Yeah, but is it during the day? It seems kind of.
Don't know.
No, don't know.
I doubt it.
Probably at 4.
It might be an earlier card, huh? What time is it? 4 o'clock?
I don't think so.
4 o'clock main event?
Same time.
Well, sometimes they do at the Apex, they'll do a 4 o'clock main event.
Yeah, they'll do earlier shows at times. But.
Yeah.
Let's see. Start time for this one is one more click.
Jesus,
one more
man.
click.
Just
7 p.m. Eastern
time.
start
So
time.
4 o'clock. Okay, so that's for the
That's
prelims.
main card.
Is that main card?
Main card is 7 p.m. Eastern. Prelims are
Yeah, that's East.
Prelims.
So it's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
4 p.m. Eastern for the prelims. So that's
for the
1 p.m.
prelims. Okay.
Does it say 1 p.m.? Yeah, 4
Prelims
o'clock.
are
You're right.
4 p.m. Eastern. Yeah,
So
Okay.
for the so 1 o'clock, it'll be 1 o'clock.
West Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 o'clock West Coast time for the prelims, which means 4 o'clock for the main card. Yeah, this will be done by 7 o'clock, and then Bellator will start right after that. Interesting.
Got it.
Interesting. I was wondering because like when we put our cards together, I was wondering. We don't normally. I know it doesn't matter. Bellator and the UFC, they don't like to overlap each other because they know they're tapping into the same market. Now, obviously, UFC has a bigger market. That more people will watch, but it really comes down
Still the
to
same market.
You still don't want to overlap. Doesn't matter if you're the UFC. You don't want to take your viewership away from anything. You don't want to have. You definitely don't want to have it like during a football game. You prefer not to, but there's times they're going to overlap like that. But they try to avoid that as much as possible. Let's go ahead and talk about Bellator 286 this weekend. I saw Patricio was at the Chargers game, getting a lot of love there, buddy. It was pretty awesome, man. He was in the middle of the field. He was they had him do this whole like crank thing that the Chargers do. I don't know what it is. It's like
the horn thing. Oh,
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was good, man. It looked pretty cool. Looked like they had him down on the field and just doing a lot of PR stuff leading up to this fight. So I'm happy for him. This can be a tough fight for him. He's fighting Adam.
Be a hard
Borics.
fight for him.
Do you think
this
so?
This is a very difficult fight for him, in my opinion.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
Look, okay, I want you to think about this: length, speed. Who does it go to?
Oh, the length for sure goes to
and the speed.
You think so?
Go ahead, say it. And the speed, yes. Adam Borics is a faster fighter right now than Patricio Pitbull.
Okay.
That doesn't say he's going to win the fight, but he's the longer, more rangy, faster fighter, and he has one element that can really help him in this fight is he's got a great jab. There's not a lot of MMA fighters that have good jabs, but he throws a beautiful jab continuously. It's hard. It snaps the head back on his opponent, and then he follows up with not ones, but combinations. He'll go a 1-1, boom, 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 a 3-punch combination off of it.
What was that, John?
Flying
Boom,
knees.
boom, boom, boom. What was
Boom,
that, John?
boom, boom,
Boom,
like
boom, boom.
that. Yeah, it's
Okay.
good, isn't it? Because that means they're landing. Okay, but look, this is a fight. Take a look at his fight against Maz Burnell, and you look at, Maz Burnell, a difficult person to hit as far as he's got good head movement. He slips things. Patricio does the same thing very well. So it's comparable as far as Maz a little bit taller than Patricio, doesn't hit as hard as Patricio. Ground game wise, Maz is just as good as Patricio, if not better. Probably tries to take the fight to the ground more than Patricio. Patricio doesn't really try to take the fight to the ground. He's got a great frickin' jump guillotine and stuff like that. But I look at this fight, and this is a fight Patricio needs to fight a very smart and calculated fight to get a win against Adam Borics.
I look at, and look, let me introduce MMA math. Let me do this.
It's not MMA math.
Let me introduce MMA math.
Where the hell did
talk
MMA
about
math
MMA
come into this?
Adam Borics had a good win over Maz Burnell.
Okay.
And I thought it was a good win over Maz Burnell. But if you think that Adam Borics that fought Masvidal is going to beat Patricio, you're out of your damn mind. I don't care about the jab. I don't care about this. As this fight goes on in a fourth and fifth round where Patricio's been countless times, I saw enough that I needed to see out of Adam Borics when I saw him fight Masvidal that he does, even though he is the faster fighter. I'll concede that to you.
Okay.
He's the faster fighter. He's obviously
Glad
the
you
longer
conceded.
fighter.
Yes.
He's obviously the longer fighter. But if you think of that style of fighting that he was stuck fighting, because I don't think he's going to be able to take Patricio down. Not that he would try.
I don't think he's going to try. I don't
But-
think he's going to try.
He shouldn't. But in the feet, it's going to get dangerous if you think you're going to stand forehead to forehead like you did with Masvidal and try to throw. Because he had slowed down so much. He got hit quite a bit by Mads. One thing that Patricio has that Mads doesn't have is power. Patricio really has power with both hands, and he will touch you in all areas of your body and your head. He will knock you the fuck out at any moment at every turn.
All right, I'm going to go back on your MMA math.
Yeah, because
Let's take your MMA math since you're bringing MMA math into this.
Yeah, I'm always right.
Let's take a look at someone that Patricio had fights with and lost to in Pat Curran. A very good stand-up fighter, clean stand-up fighter. Love the way he defended. Always kept his chin on his chest. I love just watching him. But Adam Borics destroyed Pat Curran. Patricio never destroyed him.
Are you
No.
trying to talk about Pat Curran from like 30 years ago?
Oh, wow.
That Pat Curran?
Jesus,
That one?
look
Is
at
that the
you
one
now.
you're trying to compare with?
Okay, are you
You're-
kidding me?
I'm
You're
talking
sitting
about
there
a
and you're
fight.
trying to come up with
I'm
MMA
talking
math.
about a relevant
Patricio's
fight.
never fought Mads Burnell.
I'm talking about a relevant fight. One that Mads
I'm talking
and Adam
MMA
Borics
math
just
because
had.
you want to bring it up. And if you take a look at MMA math, that means they both have fought somebody.
You're doing
the
the
same
whole
person.
like. You're doing the whole like carry the one, da 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 da. Like that's like old school math. I'm doing the fucking new Common Core. It's almost easier to understand.
Very
I'm doing the new
easy if you understand basic algebra.
Oh man, this is not even. You're using like the old methods of using stones to count. Like that's such an old method.
Patricio
That
Pitbull
fight was
fought
Jo-
Pat Curran 2 times.
Yeah, 15
2 times.
years ago.
He
15
lost
years
one
ago.
and he won one.
15
and
years
both
ago.
of them went 5 rounds. Both
Dave,
of them went 5 rounds.
Dave, pull up when he fought Pat Curran.
The first one was in Irvine, California,
Okay.
at the Bren Center of the University
in 2008?
of Irvine.
In where? 2008?
No,
2013.
2013.
2013.
Yeah,
And then
that was his first one.
2014.
Then he fought him
Yeah.
again in 2014, and he got a decision. Both of them went 5 rounds, Josh.
John.
Why don't you pull up? Stop. Dave, I want you to pull up
John's wrong.
Adam Borics' record against Pat Curran, or pull up Pat Curran's record and you'll see it. Doesn't matter to me either way. But 2 rounds. Two. Broke his leg. Okay, beat him up.
Were you still reffing at the
And
time?
I want you to know
Were you still
it's
reffing
going
at
to
the time?
happen again.
Did John ref that match?
No, Frank.
No, I didn't ref
Okay,
it.
I wasn't sure because it's so long ago. I thought maybe you were still reffing at the time. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, the first. Hold it. If you're asking about Patricio's 2 fights against Pat, yes, I was.
Yes, I know you were. I know you were. That shit was so. You didn't have any gray in your beard back then.
Oh.
That's how long ago this was. That's how long ago it was, buddy. Look,
It only takes working with you for 1 year for all this gray to pop out.
well, let me put this
Frustration.
in perspective. His
All
fight
frustration.
Patricio's fight with Pat Curran, your Strike Force was still around. That's how long ago that shit was.
No, it wasn't.
Strike
You're
Force
lying
was
now.
Strike Force was 2013.
Yeah, and this happened in 2014. That was the end.
No, his first fight
Strike
was
Force was gone.
2013. Yeah,
Strike
no,
Force
it
was
ended
gone.
in 2013. It was the last show.
Yeah,
that
when?
they stopped?
When?
2013. What? It was still
No.
2013.
Strike Force was gone. Again, you're wrong.
2013.
No.
Why can't you just
2013.
admit when you're sitting there saying Strike Force was gone?
No. Okay, look. Let's say it was. Let's just say it was. Which
It
it wasn't.
was.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It
It
got
was.
bought in 20. It got bought in 2012.
Oh, but if it got bought in 2012 and they fought in 2013, how the hell was Strike Force still there?
No, remember they still did a couple shows. They still did a couple
January
shows.
12th. January 12th was the last Strike Force event, and this was January 17th. So technically, Strike Force was done because it was 4 days later.
Woo, baby! Hey, look at that.
We're going by
Strike
4
Force is
days.
gone.
Like I
Dude,
said,
gone.
Strike Force was still
Gone.
It was fine. It was in the rearview mirror,
Buried.
just a tiny bit.
Dirt was on top of
Strike
it.
Force was tailgating you. This is nonsense. Look at,
This is nonsense.
once again, John is wrong. John is wrong. Look, guys,
Hey, Dave, thank you for pointing out that I'm right again.
I want to make sure you're wearing a shirt that says that I'm always right. You're
No,
wearing
I'm
a
not.
shirt. Yes, you are. That's
You're
right
trying
there.
for 10
It
eighths when you
says-
can't.
All I do is deliver 10-7s. That's why. Look, I think that if we're going to see another Adam Borics type fight that he fought against Mads Burnell, I think he loses.
Okay.
I don't see that. I don't see that Adam Borics fight. Now, I think the knees up the middle, I think those will be a key weapon because that will make Patricio a little bit more hesitant to throw power shots to extend himself and leave himself open to be kneed in the ribs, kneed up the middle, kneed up the face, whatever it is, right up that middle up to the face. There'll be some consequences if he loads up and leaves himself out of position for Adam Borics' knees. He's got what, 2 or 3 flying knee knockouts? Adam does,
Oh, he's got more than that.
and with the height and the way that Patricio just kind of sometimes will cover up and stand in one spot and take the knee up the middle, that could be dangerous. I mean, that flying knee may be very maybe it may end up happening several times in this. He's got to make sure he doesn't get caught big time with that. Now the jab, I think is like
He also needs to be careful he doesn't get caught by the kick like Adam Borics did to Jeremy Kennedy, where he brings the kick up alongside the head. The same thing that happened with AJ McKee against Patricio. There's not a lot of, you don't have to get real high to hit Patricio as far as with a kick.
Yeah, but Adam Borics doesn't have the speed that AJ McKee has to get that there. I don't even think
Oh,
he has the
you
power.
are so wrong.
You're telling
So
me now,
wrong.
now you're telling
So
me that Adam
wrong.
Borics is as fast as AJ McKee. This is good. Let
I'm
me hear
saying
this.
he's very close. Very close to him. I'd like to do a comparison.
all of
I'm
a
not
sudden stuttering Stanley over
Not
here.
stuttering Stanley.
Stuttering Stanley. Stuttering Stanley. Love it. All right. Look, I think it's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna obviously go with the champ. I think, and I'm a big Adam Borics fan.
You
man. I
always
love-
go with the champ.
I always go with the champ, man. I always go with the champ. Hey, he's been tried and tested, man. He has been pushed through the ringer and come back and
He
got
has.
wins. He has pretty much beat everybody that has beaten him. There's 1 or 2 that got away that he wasn't able to get back at, but he's
Only
beaten
one.
it. Yeah, he's who was that?
I think
The wrestler,
Joe
kid.
Warren.
Joe Warren.
Joe
there you
Warren.
go, Yep.
I think that's the only one.
Yep. He's the only one that he hasn't been able to come
Everybody
back
else
and
he's
win over.
come back and been able to get a win against. So, and that's impressive.
Yes.
And that says how good, says exactly the kind of level of fighter that he is.
Yep. All right. Hey, what other fights on this card do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't want to talk about the one.
All right. Talk about it.
All right. You got AJ McKee against Spike Carlisle. I think this is an absolute wrong,
Travesty.
travesty of setting up a fight. It is wrong. I even told Scott Coker in Ireland, I was thinking, whoever decided this was a good idea lost their mind. And I was told, well, this is a fight that AJ wanted. Guess what? I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to be the guy. You want to be the guy making big money. You want to be the guy that is moving up from featherweight, not getting another shot at the title. And you want to be the guy moving up to a lightweight. Okay, but you will get a ranked opponent.
Yeah.
Now, nothing against Spike Carlisle. I love Spike Carlisle. I don't want this in any way to demean Spike Carlisle as a fighter. I think he's a dog. I think he's tough as hell. I love watching him fight. And I am not the only one. In fact, Coker told me, and I'm not going to sit there and say the person's name, but it is someone that's got influence in the MMA industry. He goes, I don't know if that's a good fight for AJ. He goes, Spike Carlisle can win that fight. And he goes, so you're the second one that's told me that now. And I go, it's true. I go, this is not an easy fight for AJ. It's a tough fight. I'm not saying AJ can't get the win. He definitely can. Okay. And he should, but you're putting him up. You're taking a guy who was 18 and 0 or 19 and 0, 18 and 0, Then he loses his only fight and the championship after winning your featherweight Grand Prix. And now the guy that you're going to put him against isn't even ranked.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
John, but let's not pussyfoot around this anymore. Okay.
Okay. I didn't think I was.
If he can't beat guys like Spike Carlisle, then he shouldn't be fighting. That's my honest opinion. If you're going to say you're going to go to 55 and you can't beat this guy, then you have no reason to be at 55. That's pretty simple. All the hype, all the talk.
I'll tell you what it does.
John, I sat on this fucking show and hyped this guy up, this young man up so much.
No, so have
and I said he's the next second coming. If he just continues to evolve and get better, if you can't beat Spike Carlisle, I have nothing else to say. Then it's on you, buddy. It's on you. He was supposed to end up fighting Mamedov. I believe it was Islam Mamedov is who they were originally were going to match him up with. And he basically said, I want a different warm-up fight for my first fight. This is not a warm-up fight, man, but you should be able to beat this guy. And if you can't dispatch him, if you can't get rid of him, you've got to really start thinking about yourself being at 55. Go back down to 45 where you were more dominant, the speed, the size, all of those things were your advantage. I love AJ McKee. I love him as a kid. I love him as a person. He's a talented, very talented fighter. You know this, and I like his dad as well. I love his family. Bottom line is, John, if he can't get this win, he needs to reassess who is controlling his career. Right now, it's him. And so if he can't get past Spike Carlisle, he needs to talk about going back down to 45. Like, let's not look. There's certain guys, Max Holloway, big for the weight, long, lanky, good boxer, all of those things. At 55, he's not the same fighter. At 45, dominant fighter for a long time. And then he ran into Volkanovski. But he's a dominant fighter.
Yep.
At 55, I don't think that's him. And AJ may be that same type of guy. At 55, he may not be the same guy. Maybe he'll be better. Who knows? But if you can't beat Spike Carlisle,
maybe he will be.
I don't want to have this conversation if you can't beat Spike Carlisle.
Good point. Very well said. On to the next.
All right.
Aaron Pico taking on Jeremy Kennedy. I love everything that Aaron Pico has been doing.
Yeah.
I know there's some things in the background that are, causing, how do I say this? Aaron, all Aaron needs to do is focus on the fight. Focus on the fight. Do what you have been training for. You've been doing a great job. I hear nothing but fantastic accolades coming out of the Jackson Wink camp about Aaron, but it's all the things that we've all known about. What a hard worker he is, how freaking, he's what a good person he is, how respectful he is about everything, the way he goes about doing his business. They love this guy, and you can't blame him. It's the same thing we knew about him, before he went there. But, those outside things, sometimes there's things that happen in your life that you just cannot control, and they become a distraction in your life. And I'm just saying, Aaron, just continue on focusing on your fights. Everything will work themselves out. And as my man Josh Thompson says, hey, winning solves everything.
Am I missing something? Did something happen to him? Is he okay?
It's been a little bit of a split between him and Mama.
Oh, man. And she's a doll, man.
Happens.
She's a doll. She's a doll. Yeah. I've spent some time with the two of them in St. Bart's and St. Martin's. We went out there to enjoy some time with some family and stuff. So good stuff, man. I mean, hopefully they get a resolve. I'm sure they will. They've been together forever. I want to say middle school. They've been together for a long, long time. So, in fighting, it's a very selfish sport, and he doesn't strike me as a selfish person. Also too, having a new baby, having to develop, a lot more responsibility. There's a lot of things going on. It's harder. The lifestyle that they had before was we could travel and go everywhere together. They were like two peas in a pod. They very rarely seemed like they were separate from each other. So I'm sure that they'll work it all out. And he's a great, fantastic person, and he's definitely a family kid. He loves being around his horses and he loves being around his family. So he's a family guy.
Yep.
Great person, great kid. And, I wish them nothing but the best. In terms of this fight, great job. Amateur hour over here. Jeez.
Danny Brenner. Someone asking me to do more interviews.
Yeah, he just texted me too. And I said, I said, please hold. It's like, I'm busy.
I just get a flashback to my mum's kitchen in the 70s.
Oh yeah,
With that
was that
phone.
With
That's
that-
that old, the ring phone. The phone. Oh, that's so funny. It's true. That's exactly what he used to sound like. John had to use the old school ring, right, to make him.
Because I respond to that. See?
Yeah.
I'm so old,
Yeah.
I rember that one.
Yeah,
All those
just like
new high-tech sounds, I just go like, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you're so old. You're like, you remember the Pat Curran fight and Patricio fight. So old. Fucking, shit was fucking 13 years ago. All right.
Hell, I'm so old, I remember your fights.
Oh man, that's a long time ago. That's messed up. Messed up.
Good.
But in terms of the fight, Jeremy Kennedy and Aaron Pico, I like Jeremy Kennedy as a fighter. I think he's a tough fighter. I don't see one area in which he wins this fight.
It's a tough one, and he's got to make it. He's got to make it a dogfight. But you've seen, and here's your question: has Aaron Pico changed completely as a fighter? If he has, I totally agree with you. But if you're Jeremy Kennedy, you say, I can lull this guy into that dogfight, and if I can lull him into the dogfight, I can touch him and I can hurt him. Okay. He's not going to out wrestle. Look at Jeremy Kennedy. Generally, he lives off of getting the takedown, out wrestling his opponent, out positioning, great ground and pound. He's got beautiful ground and pound. When he gets the fight down there, he's not going to be able to keep Aaron Pico down. He's not going to be able to get him down. And if Aaron Pico's butt touches the ground from a Jeremy Kennedy takedown, it will be up in the air within a second and a half. So it's going to be very difficult to keep him there. So then the only place you got to look for Jeremy to do damage here is on the feet. And he can do that if he looks at fighting at a range that takes away some of the talent and the skills of Aaron Pico. But you got to get the fight in that range.
Yeah, I don't see, like, he's not going to be able to keep Pico pressed to the fence. Pico's going to be able to take him down at will.
It's going to be tough.
I think he's going to have to catch Pico on some exchanges. He's not the faster fighter. Aaron Pico's the faster fighter. Aaron's got Aaron's got more power. I'm looking at this fight.
Not a doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at this fight going, how does Jeremy Kennedy get this done?
But this fight has been put together, we'll say three times now?
Two or three times.
Three times.
I think it's,
3 times. So this is one of those ones where I think, it just is, your promoter is saying, yeah, I'm going to keep on giving you this damn fight because this is one I want to see.
Yeah.
So if you're Jeremy, you got to say, all right, I'm going to take the fight and I'm going to see what I can do in here and let's see if I can get it done. And possibility is, yes, he can.
Yeah.
Are the odds in his favor? No, let's be honest. The odds are not in his favor, but again, you said it at the beginning of the show. That's why we fight the fight.
Yep, this is true.
Sometimes they prove us wrong.
The fight that I'm really looking forward to is Barzola versus Juan Archuleta.
Oh, me too.
I just wish
That
it was
is
5
a
rounds.
great fight.
I wish
know.
it was a 5-round fight.
Well, look, let's be honest. Both of them have huge gas tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are always in shape. Both of them push the pace. Both of them have. Barzola didn't start with a wrestling background, but he has really become an accomplished wrestler, accomplished at takedowns in MMA. Juan comes from a wrestling background. He is an accomplished takedown guy. This is going to be a war of attrition. It's going to be who can push the hardest and who makes the other fighter make the mistake.
Yeah. We're going to see. I think Barzola is someone that will just continue to walk Juan Archuleta down. Juan Archuleta cannot afford to let him push his back to the fence. Juan is good when he's on the outside, but he's good on his lateral movement, mixing it up, the inside leg kick, overhand rights, switching his stance, being creative. But
and keeping you off balance.
Yeah, but Barzola's not going to fall for any of that shit. He's just going to keep walking forward. He's going to keep walking forward. He's going to keep trying to touch you with the hands, combinations. I mean, and he's got a great chin, and he will just take shots to keep coming forward and keep trying to make you break. Now, I know it's going to be kind of a hard task to break Juan Archuleta. Cardio-wise, he's phenomenal. The way that he mixes in his wrestling is really good as well. He's going to have to try, but getting this fight to the ground is not going to be easy for him either. So getting this fight to the ground, and then not only just getting the fight to the ground, but then holding him down. I mean, Magomedov had a hard time holding Barzola down. And Juan Archuleta is not someone that really grinds and tries to hold somebody down to the ground. He'll take you down, give you some space, put some ground and pound on you, and then let you back up. A little bit of that Dominic Cruz type style, TJ Dillashaw obviously style of getting the takedown, do some work real quick. You get back up, good. Try to reattack
finishing it off. If I'm gonna disengage, I'm gonna finish it off with a great shot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the way that's the style in which Juan Archuleta fights. So that can end up working against him because Barzola will keep pushing on him, will keep trying to make him shoot takedowns, try to slow him down. So this should be a fun fight, though. I mean, for me, this is when I saw this whole card, this was kind of the fight that I was most looking forward to because I knew that this was a good way to open up the card. I think this is the opening fight on the main card. So it should be a good fight. I think it is.
But if it is, you got two of the prelims at the end. The first one being Mike Hamill against Max Roshoff. Mm-hmm. Roshoff is a guy that came in with a lot of hype, went into the UFC, great ground game, very fast, very explosive. But we've seen what Mike Hamill can do, and Mike Hamill is a grinder, a guy that never stops, never quits. So that's an interesting matchup right there. It's going to be interesting to see that fight. And then Islam Mamedov against Nick NyQuil Brown, who's no one gives this guy any credit as a fighter. 13-1. He is tough as hell. He puts everyone to sleep with rear naked chokes. Hey, or gets him to tap. He's good.
I thought it was NyQuil Brown because he puts me to sleep when he fights. But
look at
you. Look, Islam Mamedov coming off of one of his losses, his second loss, correct? And his loss was to
Benson Henderson.
Benson Henderson. Very close fight. Very close fight.
It was very close.
Back and forth, a lot of scrambling. I mean, I gave Brent Primus the win over Mamedov on my scorecards.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
No. Did I? I can't remember. I think I did. I thought I did. I thought I had Primus win.
I thought you did.
But then I think I gave Mamedov the win over Benson. It just so happened.
I think I did too.
The two things were reversed. Anyways, Benson's starting to get on back to his winning ways and inking them out. So it's, but with Nick Brown,
he didn't eke that one out. He won that fight. Clearly.
He won that fight. He did. He dominated.
He walked away with it.
Mamedov doing his camp here while everyone else is in Dubai, getting ready for Islam Makhachev's title shot out there. And so he's here in AKA where none of the coaches are. So I'm a little concerned about that. You've got some of the, you got Tomas Dians. He's there coaching the guys, while Javier's away in Dubai with Islam and Khabib and the other guys. Any other fights on this card that you're interested in talking about?
No, I think there was one I wanted to talk about. J.J. Wilson against Tokov. Vladimir Tokov and J.J., that should actually be a really good fight. 8-1 against 7-1. Tokov being very well-rounded. J.J. being an outstanding jiu-jitsu practitioner, but he's a little bit open in his stand-up, but he's got good power. He's had some one-punch knockout, walk-off knockouts and stuff, so... And then Bobby Ceronio III has been very impressive in his 2 wins. He's been really fun to watch.
He is a fun fighter. He's young. He's got a good look to him. He's exciting. He doesn't ever stop trying to win the fight. He throws caution to the wind. Doesn't always use fighter IQ because he is very aggressive with his attacks, relentless with high-flying stuff, and will do crazy stuff. But he's a local boy here in the Bay Area. So now that he's going down to the LA area, you look for him. He is one of those kids that will bring the crowd with him. Comes from that Taekwondo style background, and he has a traveling herd of fans that go everywhere with him. So look for him to bring a big crowd with him for this show.
The other one you got to talk about Lance Gibson Jr. taking on Nate Diaz Jr. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a very interesting. Well, it's Chris Avila, who is he's the second coming of Nate. They're so best friends, I guess. So
that's hilarious.
But
well, you know what's interesting is I'm just trying to find it right now, but Jake Paul's card in Arizona is coming up with Anderson Silva October 29th, and
yes.
Chris Avila is also on that as well. So
really
interesting that he's doing MMA and then a couple of weeks later doing boxing.
Yeah. Who is Chris Avila fighting?
That's a month away.
He's fighting YouTube star Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike.
All right.
Okay. Didn't know that.
It's a good lead into Nate and Jake Paul fighting. I mean, after Jake Paul knocks out Anderson Silva.
Schmacked.
No,
So you guys will probably see Nate this weekend as
Dr. Mike is going to be introduced to a Stockton slap. There's going to be, it's illegal in boxing, but I'm guaranteeing you Chris Avila open hand slaps him across the face in that boxing match.
You can't open a slap with a glove.
Yes, you can.
What
They just warn you. They don't do that.
Jeez, are you serious, Dave?
Boy.
That's why you needed to train Alta more, man. No fucking idea what you're talking about.
You can't open your hand in that thing. I've got one right in front of me. I'll put it on. I'll show you.
Okay, you can't open your hand in it. Then you obviously not worn one long enough.
No. Okay, so look, there is somebody else that I want to talk about. Is Sumika Inaba.
Yeah,
fantastic fighter out of Hawaii. She's got power in her hands. She's very aggressive. She comes forward. She will take a shot to give a shot.
Yes, she will.
She's a fun fighter to watch. And
she's
check
someone
her out.
to watch.
4-0. Yeah, she's someone to watch. Keep an eye on. So that's going to wrap up our Bellator talk and conversation. And let's see what else we got into. Let's get into some news. Give us some
Come
news
on,
there,
Dave. Try to trick us.
Cyborg won her boxing debut this past weekend. Did you guys see any of the highlights or anything?
I did not see any of the highlights on that, but it went to a decision victory, which, and this is what happens when you take away the tools that MMA has and you limit someone to just punches, and then the gloves are bigger and things like that, and it's just a different game. This is what happens with women's boxing, and this is why women's boxing has really not taken off, is most of the fights, people are going to look at and say it's going to go to a decision. It's going to go to a decision. I predicted in this one, I said, Chris is going to win. It'll be by decision.
Interesting.
And that's why women's MMA has worked. That we have finishes in women's MMA. They can land kicks, knees, elbows. They can get submissions. That's why women's MMA is so popular. You don't know how it's going to end. Women's boxing, name me the big knockouts. That's the problem.
I don't even know.
That's the problem.
You want to know why I don't know? I don't watch women's boxing. That's why.
You don't watch like Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano? Come on.
I watched that fight. I thought it was a good fight, but
that was a good fight. But again, I didn't. Katie Taylor didn't win that fight. That's where I look at Jake Paul. He might be right in what he said, man. Eddie Hearn.
Ooh, yeah, corrupt. He's getting sued for that, for those comments, by the way.
He's getting word for the
Eddie Hearn's going to sue.
You better
him.
be able to prove what you said.
Defamation. Interesting. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, hey, box promoters are all corrupt. They're all fucking corrupt.
If he is, he won't be the first.
Yeah, nope, he definitely won't. Look, I have no desire to watch Cris Cyborg box. I don't know if she's gonna be back in MMA. I know that there's some contract stuff going on, not just with Bellator.
There is.
Across the board.
It's not even Bellator stuff.
No, it's PFL.
Not even Bellator stuff.
Yeah.
It's not even PFL stuff. Chris is in a situation she's kind of stuck right now. I feel bad for her. That's why she went and did the boxing thing. And, you just got to give her time.
Well, a lot of it is the weight class just doesn't have the talent that they need to fight her or Amanda Nunes or whoever else, or Kayla Harrison. They don't have that weight class. That weight class has now fallen by a side. It's gone. You're not going to see these female fighters in this weight class anymore. I think it's going to eventually just completely leave the sport. You're going to have 115, you're going to have 125, 135 is the weight classes you're going to have. You might even start to see 105.
Yeah.
I don't see it going. I don't see it going back up to 145. It's not going to happen, I don't think.
Well, it's you say that, and I looked at, they're showing, they have the Leah McCord versus Diana Silva fight, and they're showing the top 10. They don't even have a top 10.
No.
Because the people they let go, there was a top 7. That kind of tells you.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you look at the UFC's 145, take a look at their top 10. How many names are on it?
It's one person. It's just the champ, right?
That's what I said. How many names are on it? And so it's like, come on.
And here's the thing, though. If you're a promotion, right, and someone like Cris Cyborg, who is like one of the people that started.
Look, she's one of the all-time great women
Yes.
fighters that there's ever been.
Yeah, but like I'm sorry, I have no interest in paying you $600 to $700, $1 million to fight people that you've already fought 3 or 4 times. I have no interest. I have no desire to pay you that much money. Now, if you want to take a pay cut, sign me up all day long. I'll pay you for that. Okay, but I'm not going to keep paying you to beat the same people over and over, and that's not market. I can't market that either. And it's nothing against Cris, you know. And we know we hang around with her. We've been around her quite a bit. We've had her on this show. She's a fantastic person. That doesn't mean that because I like you as a person that I want to continue paying you $1 million a fight. It doesn't resonate, man. If you're look at all the other talent. Shane Burgos would have been a great addition to Bellator. And I said this last weekend. I said this on the show that I did by myself because Ireland didn't want to let you go. It was basically came down to guys like Fedor.
Then they thought about it and said, "Yeah, get the hell out."
Guys like Fedor Emelianenko. I love Fedor. I love Cris Cyborg. We're
Can't
paying
pay him
way
that kind
too
of
much
money.
money.
I agree.
Not in where the age that you're at. On top of the fights that we can put you in, that people would be interested in fighting. I have no desire to do that. And if you're younger, like if you're basically a promotion like Bellator, you have to make those hard decisions. Build the young talent that you have, which we already have. We've got a ton of young talent.
We've
You got
already
Adam
talked about
Borics,
that.
you got Jeremy Kennedy, you got Aaron Pico, you've got AJ McKee. You've got stars now that you can build. Start utilizing that money that you're paying someone like Cris Cyborg or Fedor, who's just fucking expensive, you know, and take that money and put it into promoting your young talent. That's a lot of money that we're spending on these fighters. That
You almost said wasting.
I mean, John. Yeah. I think we're wasting that money. I think it's a waste. I said it.
Okay.
Damn it. I said it. You got me to say it. I think it's a waste. I've got that nostalgia for the Fedor thing because of,
So do
the
I.
pride and this.
First off, I love the person.
Exactly.
Because if you know him,
Yeah.
he's just fantastic.
And the same thing goes for Cris. If you know
Exactly.
her, you like her. Like
She's fantastic.
She's a fantastic person. I don't see any room to grow their brand. Like I don't see how that's going to help the Bellator brand grow by spending that amount of money on them. And I think I'd rather use that $3 to $4 to $5 million that they're paying them per fight to market guys like AJ McKee, to market guys like Aaron Pico, to market the young talent that's coming up. I mean, Usman Nurmagomedov. I mean, these guys, Tofik Mosaev, they are fucking putting it down. These young talented fighters. I mean, Danny Savatello, Rafael Stotts. Can I put some money into them? Can I get these? Can I get these fighters? Some more love, some more publicity, some more. I would market the shit out of our young talent. Patchy mix, exactly. Like these guys, they're phenomenal. And so I don't know. Look, that's just me speaking out loud. I think that's there's so much talent. Yaroslav Amosov, 26-0, 27-0, got the best record in MMA. Hasn't lost. I don't know.
That's what that O is.
Yeah. I mean, coming back from defense, being out there in Ukraine, fighting there and coming back and you're gonna have a title defense probably early next year. It's gonna be this is where the money should be spent. All right, next I've talked that over to nausea.
Talk that to death.
All right, we're getting reports in from Rodrigo Del Campo. I don't know where he's from, but he's an MMA reporter, saying that they're targeting Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo for UFC 283 in Brazil in January.
Yeah, we kind of saw that though when Moreno won the title fight, the interim title, excuse me, and Davidson was there. You kind of saw that it was going to end up happening. Just as they brought Davidson, I thought it was a little weird that they brought Davidson into the octagon to kind of took a little bit of the shine off of Brandon Moreno's moment there. But I don't know. I thought, we looked at this, if Kai Kara France had won, yeah, it'd be different because it would have been an easy thing just to put, Davidson against Kai Kara France, but he didn't. Brandon wins. They both have a win. There's a draw. So this is the tiebreaker. This is the one.
Yeah,
But if it's
four-
amazing again.
so-
Is it going to be 5?
So look, I think styles make fights, and you can go back in history in both boxing and MMA where we've had people fight more than 3 times, 4, 5, sometimes 6 times against the same guy, and it's every one of the fights has been fantastic because they just bring it out in each other, and you got to admit there's been good fights between these guys. So I don't think that the 4th one will be anything but a barn burner.
Yeah, I have kind of the same problem that I'm having with the Cris Cyborg situation, Amanda Nunes situation, Kayla Harrison situation. We're going to continue in this weight class. Don't get me wrong, there's some talented fighters below, whereas in that weight class, there's no other talented fighters. There's like 3 or 4 of them, and that's it. But in this weight class, there is some, but they're so far behind these 2 fighters.
Yeah.
That you're going to end up seeing this fight probably another 2 or 3 more times. And how many times can you rinse, wash, repeat the same fight? I mean, you go to the trilogy, and then after the trilogy, this is the quadrilogy, whatever it is. Like, this is going to be their 4th fight. And I know one of them was a draw, so it makes it easier to put this fight on. But I'm not gonna have a desire to watch this fight again. Like this is like a fight. I kind of already know the results. Is it going to be a boring fight like the last one was a little bit, where Devison just kind of stuffed takedowns or got takedowns and just control positioning, like that type of stuff, working with Henry Cejudo, like those type of things. Like, are we going to start seeing a more cautious fighter now because Moreno is so dangerous in all areas? We're going to end up seeing it now. They know each other so well. They're so calculated that it ends up being boring fights. Whereas the first 2 were fucking just insane back and forth. So I think, like I said, if you're looking at this weight class, John, Kai Kara France and Askarov are probably the next 2 that are the closest to all of them. But then Royval is good. Don't get me wrong. Perez, good. Okay, these other fighters that are all in here, they're so far behind. Moreno and Figueiredo, they're so far behind. So we're going to end up seeing... Now, I think
you're right. This is one of those... It all comes down to, how many people are of that upper echelon ability in the weight class. 125 is it's small men. But there are guys out there.
That's your fucking leg. Let me just remind people of that. That's the size of your fucking leg. Okay,
but
not your dick, not your dick, your leg. Okay.
Oh, I guarantee it wasn't my dick. But you look and you go. But you're saying that, and I agree with you. But then I think the Bellator should have a 125-pound class. They got a guy in Horiguchi that should be fighting at 125 pounds. He shouldn't be fighting at 135. He should be fighting at 125. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The best guy in the weight class, no matter what, is fighting in 1. That's DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Is he not the best fighter in that weight class?
I would love to see him come back.
Is he not the best fighter in that weight class?
He is.
There you go.
He is, especially at 125. Like I'm sorry, but the guy he just fought is like 150. So it's not even.
Exactly.
Moraes is not even 125. So the fact that he's getting wins over that guy, and
says everything.
Yeah, it says everything.
That's how good he is.
All right, next.
Floyd Mayweather just fought this past weekend in Ryton in an exhibition. When they say he won an exhibition fight, is that like a thing where you can win an exhibition? I don't know.
Yeah, an exhibition fight is not judged, but if you stop your opponent, they'll say, "Oh, he beat him by stoppage," depending upon what kind it was.
And he's already talking about another fight in November now against another YouTuber, British YouTuber Deji Olatunji. I don't know who that is, but
there will finally come a time when people will get tired of watching him fight nobodies.
Yeah.
He's not going to fight someone that can beat him. Okay? He's not that stupid. And he's looking at all these people. He's saying, I can make money just boxing them? Hello?
Yeah.
And you can't blame him. I think he's smart for doing it. Mm-hmm. I think people are stupid for watching. When you have nobody that wants to watch, guess what?
Yeah.
There won't be that fight.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna find look, Bob Sapp made a lot of money for years traveling around fighting nobodies, and he had his
but Bob Sapp was almost like a guaranteed win for your nobody.
Yeah, and he would tell you too. Like, if I don't get you out of here in like in a minute 19 or minute 20,
I'm done.
taking a dive. I'm taking a dive.
Yeah. Have you seen Bob Sapp lately?
He looks lean.
He's in great shape. He looks great.
Looks lean. I don't know about great shape, but he looks.
He's
lean.
in great, dude. He
looks lean.
He looks great.
I know a lot of people that look like they're in shape, but they can't walk upstairs. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Good point.
but I have no interest in watching him fight. I know the Conor McGregor fight was talked about. And
God,
obviously,
no.
I don't want to watch it again, but I know I will watch it because we'll cover it on this show.
No, we will not, because I will not watch it.
Yes, you will.
I refuse to watch
You're
that.
such a liar. You're gonna watch it.
I will not watch it.
You are a fighting junkie. Shut your whore
I
mouth.
am.
You will watch it.
You shut
That's
your
the thing.
mouth.
He's trying to act all tough right now, but it's like when he knows there's a fight on, he'll fucking have one
I'm
TV
watching
here, one TV here, one on his
I
phone.
do.
And it's just like, oh yeah, like it's like he can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of it. So he's over here trying to lie to all of us. I'm not watching that
All right,
shit.
I'll watch it, but I'm going to find someone who's
yeah.
buying it because I'm not paying for it.
The day of, he'll be like, oh, I'm watching the fight. All right.
I
Dave,
found
send me a
someone.
link.
Yeah.
I found someone who has it.
Yeah. All right, next.
All right, we're gonna wrap up on that one right there.
Oh, we are? Well, wait. You can't do that. You can't just let it. I would have made this thing a lot more entertaining. You got to let us know. What else you got for us, Dave? Do some research.
That was it?
No, do some research.
I just told you. All right.
That's it.
fucking
That's it.
Josh.
That's it? That's all you get? All right, guys. Well, hey, we're leaving you guys, uneventfully because podcast Dave didn't let us know it was the last one.
Blew it.
So blame
Podcast Day
him.
blew it. Just tell him.
Hey, I'm getting a lot. John, let me ask you this,
I said
though.
wrap up on this one.
Yeah, no, you didn't. John, let me. I'm getting a little bit of love. I mean, I don't know if it's love. The media's talking about it. I talked about Khamzat Chimaev going up to 185. I talked
Absolutely
about it with
should.
Park. Okay, and I agree because you obviously can't make the fucking weight at 170. So I look at it. Do you make that fight with Paulo Costa, or you just take?
Absolutely. Paulo Costa's calling him out.
Or do you take him right to Robert Whittaker because Paulo Costa may beat him?
He might.
But
Robert Whittaker will beat him.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm glad I'm getting a little love here because I believe so too. I think
Robert Whittaker will beat him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now.
Just asking.
Now, I look at it right at this moment. First off, if you're the UFC, it's an easy get because Paulo Costa called him out. Paulo Costa wants him. Oh, sure, I'll sign that fight. That's an interesting fight. It's a fight I can sell. It's a good fight. Paulo Costa has gone against good wrestlers and done very well. He's got good stand up. He's got, a good chin. We've seen that he's got a good chin, man. He'll take a shot, although if you're going to look at Paulo, whatever happened in the moments when he drank wine and had the fight with Adesanya all the way through the whole Marvin Vettori thing. You get rid of that crap in his career, he's been solid as hell. Do I think that he's got a good chance of beating Khamzat? He's got a good chance of beating Khamzat.
Do you think Khamzat can take him down?
Sure. Absolutely he can.
Can he hold him down?
That I don't know.
Yeah. I'm interested because, Yoel Romero had a hard time getting him down.
That's right.
And Rockhold had a hard time getting him down. Rockhold's not the level of wrestling of Khamzat or
no, he's not.
Or Yoel, but both of those guys had a hard time getting him down.
No matter what anyone wants to say, they can talk all they want. Khamzat is not near the level of wrestler that Yoel was.
No. I agree with you. With you. Finally, John, you're on my level. I'm glad you can keep up. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Go to WeighingInPodcast.com. Pick up some of our merch. Got a coffee mug, hoodies, sweatshirts. Yes. And winter is coming. I got to be honest, man.
It is.
Fall was just a couple days ago. Starting off, and it was freezing here for a day or two, and then it went back to 90 degrees. Yesterday it was 90-something degrees. Beautiful day. Did some swimming with the fams, and had a bunch of people over, and
that's not going to last long.
Enjoyed a couple cocktails out by the pool.
Your
nice.
pool, you're not going to need your plunge because your pool's going to be your plunge pool coming up.
Yeah, it's very true. My pool gets down to I'd say probably 42, 43.
Ooh, yeah.
My cold plunge gets to 37, 38. somewhere in there.
Don't like either one of those.
Yeah, I gotta be honest though. I love the cold plunge on hot days.
Ugh.
I love it. But
How do you like it on a cold day?
I don't know. I haven't done it yet. I'm scared. I'm scared. Gonna be honest. A little scared. So, all right. Well, hey, that's gonna wrap us up. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this show and check us out. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, and also hit that little notification because John and I are doing some separate little shows on the side for you guys. Sometimes release it on this channel and sometimes release it on our Clips channel, which is the link down below in the descriptions there. Hit that link. That'll take you to our Short Clips channel. Hit the subscribe button there as well with the bell and the thumbs up. Obviously, we want that thumbs up. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. John, take us away. I had to do the takeaway the other day. Kind of threw me all off.
Did it
threw me all off.
It's a rough one, dude.
Fucking
It's
Joe
very
Biden.
rough.
Joe Biden keeping you on the no-fly list. Fucking
That's
brilliant.
Goddamn.
Won't let
keeping
John
me
in the
away.
country, but he'll let everybody else in. Go right ahead.
That's it. That's exactly it. For everyone out there, man, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad to be home and I get to take off again tomorrow. But it's awesome being here. Do me a favor. Be kind to someone. Do something good for someone just because you can. It'll make you feel better and it'll make their day. And for everyone out there, we will see you.